Friday morning conversation with
Tim McGraw.
You know somebody when they come in and immediately start heckling you? which is what happened. Like Tim walks in and goes, "Hey everybody, hey Bobby, how about Arkansas, huh?"
I can't help myself.
Yeah, no, I felt that. Hey, when I saw you teasing a playlist, it was like, I'm putting out a playlist. You should pay attention to it. And I was like, well, I don't know what's about to happen here. And usually I can kind of call the shot, know what everybody's up to. Pretty like novel new way to introduce the song that we've been playing today.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked how quickly everybody got it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I would have gotten it that quickly had I not known about it.
So the reason, explain that to people who have no idea what happened. Because I was seeing on your socials, you're like, I'm putting out a playlist, which turned into this song. But talk about that.
Yeah, we put out a playlist of a lot of songs, of my songs. And the first word to every song sort of spelled out what our new single was going to be. But the coolest part about putting that set list together is going back and digging in some of the old albums and finding some of my favorite album cuts. To
like listening to an old song that you did and remembering how much you liked it?
Remembering how much I liked it, yeah. And then cringing a little bit of how I sounded on it and wishing I could re-sing it probably was the worst part about it. But yeah, there's some songs. A song on there, I Guess You Get Used to Somebody was always one of my favorites. I think it was off Set the Circus Down. It was always one of my favorites. So I don't go back and listen very often. The only time that I listen to something is when I'm getting ready to do a new project. I'll go back and listen to the last record that I made because, you never really finish a project. You just sort of get it in the barrel, so to speak. So I always make mental notes of things that I wanted to do better, things I wanted to improve, sounds that I wanted to improve, certainly singing that I wanted to improve. So I'll go back and listen and I'll go, I remember I wanted to do something different here and I didn't get the chance to do it. So I'll remember that the next time I go in the studio to record.
When you say you listen to something and you're like, ooh, because we all do that, right? If I look at old or listen to old shows or old, I'm always like, ooh, man, I don't like how I did that there. But when you hear you and you say you cringe, is it because you don't feel like you sang as well, or was it because maybe it was produced weird?
No, not produced weird, probably. More my singing. Yeah, just something that I didn't phrase quite the way I thought I'd phrased it. I'd go back, like if I'm singing something now, like when before a show, when we're in the dressing room, we'll sit down and play guitars and sing old songs and stuff, and I'll think that I'm singing it the way I remembered singing it. Then if I go back and listen to it, I'll realize that I'm singing it completely different.
Do you think you're a better singer now?
I hope so.
Well, I don't know.
I hope so. Different, I guess, is a better way to put it. I think probably just my voice. Hopefully, my voice has matured a little bit over the years. I go back and listen now and just think how much of a kid I sounded.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I would say because you've been so generous performing here many, many times, and when you sing, you still sound pure, meaning you don't sound like you're, how old are you, 48, 50?
Yeah, 48.
Whatever you are.
I'm 48.
You don't
Let's just stick there.
You don't sound like your voice has gotten older, where other artists come in and they're like, I don't have it, so I got to like take and change the key.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like your voice has gotten better. I think you're a better singer. You're as good a singer as anybody that comes in here just about. And so, like, do you think you've just gotten better by doing it or stronger by doing it? And why is this thing not falling off? Why is your voice still good? Is it all the curls, all the rope, all the speed ropes?
Maybe it's the workouts. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just I just love it so much. I mean, it's therapy in a lot of ways. That's my therapy is when I get to go in the studio and sing these songs.
You still like singing?
I still like singing. I still, there's nothing that beats a live audience and being on stage in front of people and performing. That's especially on a great night whenever that's one of my favorite lines in this song is on nights like this I catch a thunderbolt. That's what happens sometimes on stage. It's just not all nights are like that, but the nights when everything's magic are the nights that you live for. I mean, that's what keeps you going to the next night that's like that. What
makes a night magic on stage? Because to us, you may have a terrible show or a great show, but we don't know the difference if we're watching for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're like, man, this is awesome. We're hearing all the big new songs, all the great songs from 90s, 2000s, 2010s. We're hearing all the hits, and we're just like, that was an amazing show. But you may come off and go, God dang it, man, that was not a good show. Like, what's the difference in a good show or a thunderbolt, like you said?
Most of the time it's how your ears sound. I mean, when your ears are sounding great, that's when everything's great. When if your ears don't sound really well and you're having to push really hard with your vocal to get any tone, to get any feeling or get any soul out of it, those are the nights you feel like you're struggling,
So it's like the mix that's and sometimes it's just different.
And sometimes it's just different. You can have the same setup, the same everything, and every room's different. But some nights you just have this perfect sound, and the band's on target. You know, you're on target. The audience is there with you the whole time, and it's pretty awesome. But then, you know, you have nights, it's like, you know, I can remember one of my best basketball games. I had the flu and thought I sucked the whole game and went back and scored a lot of points. But sometimes you hyper-focus because things aren't going right, and you have a better show than you think you had.
Explain to our listeners, whenever you pull out your ear, like you sling it out, you're not wearing it in. You're not actually mad at that piece of equipment. What are you doing there?
Well, sometimes you're just not hearing well, and you're thinking maybe if you get some ambient noise in the room, you can hear a little bit better.
And there are times that maybe you can't hear the crowd because my ears seal me off. Like if we're doing, you really don't hear the crowd that much.
Not that much, but we have crowd mics, so we can crank those up a little bit when we want a little bit more ambient. But sometimes you just take it out because you just feel good, everything sounds good, and you just want to take an ear out because it sounds good on stage as well, and you do want to hear the audience a little more.
Back to your high school basketball career, most points you ever scored in a game?
52.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
That was a freak night.
How did you score? I mean, I know how 52 comes. I know how you add numbers and get 52. But like, were you playing a team? Well, first of all, where did you play? Were you a guard?
I was a guard.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a guard.
Were you a shooting guard?
I wasn't a great outside shot, and we didn't have 3 points back then either.
So,
Yeah.
why that night? Was the game plan built around you taking advantage of somebody else? 52 is an amazing number.
It's just one of those nights that you were just on. Everything was falling.
Was the rim, did it look like that massive Sonic cup where it just looked gigantic and you couldn't miss?
Yeah, they snuck a woman's basketball in there for me. So it was
A small
little
one?
Yeah, it was you know, just every now and then you have those nights. You know?
What'd you average in high school?
My senior year, 27.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you talk about that often?
No, gosh, that was a long time ago. I couldn't hit a bucket on a prayer.
I'm gonna tell you who you are. You're Pistol Pete. I'm gonna tell you why. Imagine you average 27 a night with no 3-point line. Pistol Pete averaged 44 at LSU with no 3-point line.
Yeah, he was incredible. You know, it's funny that you mentioned Pistol Pete. There was a while back that they were going to do a movie about Pistol Pete, and I was going to play him.
No way.
But that was a long time ago.
Let's do it.
But he was like 6'5", something like that, and I'm like barely 6 foot on a good day. So we'd had to put a lot of short people around me.
That's every Tom Cruise movie.
They can make it work.
That's every Mission Impossible. That's what that is. You average over 25 points a game in high school. Were you the athlete in high school, or were you the singer?
I was an athlete. That was my whole purpose. I was a good student too, so I don't want to push that to the side. But yeah, I was an athlete, and whatever sport was in season was my favorite sport.
For all children out there, being a good student is the way to go.
Yeah, you got to be a good
student.
student.
Get that.
Yeah.
So, did you play any other baseball?
Baseball and football. Yeah.
So you played football too?
I did.
What position in football?
Wide receiver and defensive back.
And so you played both ways. Big school, small school.
Small school.
Okay, because I played both ways because I only had 40 people on the team.
Yeah, we didn't have very many people on the team, and when our basketball team, we were like a B school, but we were playing in quad A tournaments, so we were playing a lot of big schools when we were in high school.
Did you catch many touchdowns?
I caught a few touchdowns. Yeah.
What about baseball wise? How good were you then?
I was a decent baseball player. Played shortstop. Yeah.
Cannon for an arm?
Not much of a cannon for an arm. My elbows pretty much shot.
Rangy?
Yeah.
Were you rangy?
I did, nothing got by me, but my first baseman saved me a lot on my throws.
Batting average your senior year?
I don't know my batting average, but it was up there pretty high.
You got to be kidding me.
I was the leadoff hitter.
I'm going to talk about music. I forgot about his new song. I'm ready to just go deep into Tim McGraw's high school
But I'll
athletics.
tell you what, I knew the pitchers that I couldn't hit, so I learned to bunt. Pretty good.
Or lean in.
Take
the shot.
Yeah.
Standing Room Only is a new song. We're going to play this now. And so what stood out to you the first time you heard this song? Or maybe it wasn't the first time where you're like, okay, this is one that is me. That is me.
First time. I mean, I'm pretty good about first time knowing whether I'm going to like a song or not. Usually the first verse, I'll know if I'm going to record a song. This one is just, look, I've been lucky in my career to have some songs that I'm really proud of and that have a lot to say. And this is one of those songs. Lyrically, there's not a wasted line anywhere in this song. It's just such a impeccably written song. And then the melody I love. So when you get in the studio and record, you're scared to death that you're going to go in and screw up a song. Humble and Kind, for instance, I had for a year before I recorded it. Because when you hear Lori McKenna sing with just an acoustic guitar, it just doesn't get much better than that. And so you're scared to death to go in and just mess up a great song. So this song, Standing Room Only, I wanted to go in. I had an idea of what I wanted the record to sound like, how I wanted it to come off. And every step along the way, the song just kept raising its head, saying, this is the one, this is the one, this is the one. And when we mixed it, it just sort of jumped off the board. And it's rare to find a song that has this much lyrical content and has this much meaning and says so much, but still have this sort of high energy to it. And it's rare to find that combination of not quite a ballad, not quite an up tempo, but still deep lyrically and still moves.
Get personal for a second. Real personal.
Yeah,
super personal.
Yeah.
What'd you eat for breakfast this morning?
Some cinnamon toast and a cup of coffee.
But real cinnamon, like with real cinnamon?
Yeah, but it's the kind that's pre-made. That's got the swirl in it, the cinnamon swirl.
But it's like good. Okay.
Toast,
I was thinking like some kind of organic cinnamon flavored tofu crumbled on it.
No, I mean I try to eat healthy, but I have plenty of cheat days.
I'm doing that Whole30 right now. You ever done that?
Nuh-uh.
Don't. You look great. No need for you to do it. It's just hard.
Don't put yourself through it.
Yeah, it's just hard, and I have digestive issues, and it's a whole thing. But if you're having a cheat on, this is Friday morning, can you do breakfast like that every morning? Can you just do Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Would you ever?
Cocoa Puffs.
Okay, so similar.
Yeah, 'cause I like
Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, but that's usually late at night. When I eat the
That's when it comes?
Yeah, it's usually in the mornings. Is usually a protein drink or something before workout.
Regular milk, whole milk?
I like whole milk.
Still, not almond milk, none of that fruit.
I mean, I'll drink it if it's in the fridge, but I like whole milk.
Are you somebody who will pour milk in a glass and drink it?
I'll drink it right out of the jug.
Oh.
Ugh. That is disgusting.
Well, it's just me and Faith in the house now, so.
No, I don't care about the jug, just drinking milk. Like that's weird, just to drink
You don't
milk.
put it on ice or anything?
No, it's always cold in the
Milk
fridge.
on ice?
What
What's
are you
wrong with you guys? You guys are getting weirder as
You're
it
getting
goes.
watered down milk.
Oh, I
Wow.
love milk.
Wow. Hey, Eddie, what was your question for Tim?
Yeah, so Tim, I figure you've been everywhere, like all over the world, but what is one place that you've never been and you want to go?
Oh, wow. There's a couple of places you can't go to now, but I've always wanted to see St. Petersburg just because it's supposed to be so beautiful, but there's no going to St. Petersburg.
No chance.
No chance right now.
They'll be in your phone. They'll hack everything about you.
I know. We can't take anything if we go over there, but
Have
that's
you
a
been
place.
to Russia?
I've never been to Russia, and I'd love to see Israel and Petra. I would,
Would that be cool?
I'd love to see all of that stuff.
You been to
but, yeah,
China?
I've never been to China. Been to
Russia?
Japan, but not to China.
Oh, a whole different place.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Oh boy.
I don't think you want to go there right now either.
No, I'm good. I'm staying here.
I'm staying in the good old USA for
I'm
a while.
good. I feel good. So another thing I had here, I saw a little stat here that said that you are since the 90s, you're the most played artist ever on radio. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. Gosh.
Of all.
Wow.
I didn't even make that up. Because sometimes I'll do that. I heard this fact. You're the most, and I talk about this because I'll be brought on.
Well, it just shows how long I've been around. That's
not just been around, but stayed consistently highly efficient, and just producing hit after hit. And I'll go on some of these shows sometimes, and because I've worked in all formats of music, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll go like, "Hey, who is someone in your history of working in music?" And it's always you because you've been able to perform at a high level for a long time. And I feel like you don't get lumped in with like 90s country artists because you never went away, because you didn't have to go away, because you just kept smashing.
Well, thank you. I've been, knock on wood.
None of that's wood, by the way. That's like cushion.
Well,
That's your head. Okay, all right, just making sure.
Ask my wife; she'll tell you it's pretty wooden. But yeah, I just feel fortunate. I get, great songwriters send me great songs. I get to work with Byron Gallimore in the studio, who's one of the best in the world. We've worked together since the beginning of my career. I feel very fortunate. I feel very fortunate to have the opportunity to record great songs and to still get the chance for people to hear them.
So you're also a big actor, obviously, but Amy's going through the process now where she had a little role in the HBO something. She did pretty good. And so now she's like, starting to audition for stuff. What is your advice to her about that?
Auditioning is tough. Gosh, it's the hardest thing in the world. The things that I think that I've done the best at are the things I didn't have to audition for. But the best advice I ever got as an actor came from Billy Bob Thornton when we were doing Friday Night Lights, and I was scared to death because that was my first big movie. And I asked him for any advice he'd give me. He says, if you think you're not doing enough, you're probably still doing too much. And that was the best advice he gave me.
Is it also where, because there are mics everywhere, you don't really have to project. You're just like trying to talk as a human, but also there are cameras, so it feels like your heart rate's up.
As soon as the camera starts rolling, man, your body defies you a little bit. But you do. That's one of the things I had to learn too as an actor, is not to try to talk to the camera that's way over there, and realizing they they can hear you. They have headphones on. You got microphones.
Yeah, I didn't know if like pre-filming, like you had to like, do you do breathing exercises? Do you have anything you work through to just calm?
No, I mean, I'm
used to performing.
I'm pretty calm as long as I know my words. If I don't know my words, then you get a little racked sometimes. But as long as I know the script, and I feel pretty calm about it. But I have to say, when you're doing a scene with Sam Elliott and you have to stare him down and sort of have a confrontation with him, that gets a little nerve-wracking because he can stare you down pretty good.
Do you wait for like an affirmation from like one of those hero type guys when you're done to hopefully, or like, cause I would be like, man, do you even like me? Am I doing a good job?
Absolutely. Every time it's like, do you hate, like when you don't get anything back and they just walk off, you're like, did I suck? Did I just ruin that scene for him?
How you feeling about LSU football next season?
Pretty good. I mean, I'm excited about my nephew. Just started at LSU. He's a freshman at LSU, and he just got initiated into my fraternity. He's a Pike now, so I'm pretty excited about LSU because he's there. I'm excited anyway about LSU, but I'm excited because he's there, and hopefully get to go to some games with him next year.
Just going back to something we talked about a minute ago, and it includes acting. When they say, hey, we're thinking about doing the Pistol Pete movie, which, Amy, Pistol Pete, you familiar? Let me give you a quick little rundown.
Well, I saw you did an Instagram thing.
Yeah, I did a whole
him.
thing about him. I'm like a massive Pistol Pete fan.
Oh, wow.
Like he was Showtime before Showtime. Like he was doing things with the ball handling, shooting that people didn't do for 20 years.
Yeah.
Like was so far ahead of it. And, you know, then he played in the NBA. Actually, averaged over 24 points in the NBA. People don't give him credit.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, he was he averaged over 20. He was like you in high school in the NBA.
Yeah,
no 3-point line till his final year and still averaged that.
Still did it. And he'd throw up shots from everywhere and make them
deep.
Yeah, deep shots. He was doing what Stephen Curry's doing now, shooting from way out there.
So when they say we're thinking about doing this movie and you're like, yeah, it'd be awesome. Is it disappointing when they go, never mind, we're not doing it?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking forward to that.
Did you start practicing like ball handling?
Yeah, I
stuff?
tried to practice my ball handling a little bit, but that was a long time ago. I'm too old for it now. I couldn't get down the court.
Once I was at a Razorback game and they send a guy to come get me in a golf cart. And they're like, hey, we'll come get you because I was going to do some stuff on the field before the game. And like a GA young coach picks me up, drives me in. I'm like, hey, man, how's it going? I hadn't met him before. We drive up and he lets me in and he tells me his name. I'm cool. He said, I'll pick you up on the way out. I get back in on the way out and he's talking about his mom and she was at the game. His name was SJ. And so I was like, huh? SJ? He said, yeah, SJ Tui. And so he's like one of my dear friends now and he's like running UCF, like head of football operations. But that's the real life son from The Blind Side.
Yes.
And so I saw him post a picture of you two. He's like, I'm here with my fake dad, you know, at like a show.
Yeah, he came to a show in Florida, yeah.
Yeah, and so The Blind Side, the real young boy is like my friend, but there was obviously an actor boy. But did you get to know the family that well at all?
A little bit, yeah. It was Sean and Leanne.
yeah.
I got to know pretty well. They were on the set quite a bit. And boy,
Leanne's got a big personality.
she does. Sandra Bullock nailed her.
Yeah.
I mean, she actually even underplayed her a bit.
Do you look back at early acting like you do old music and go, oh,
I don't watch it. No.
I hear you.
Yeah, I don't watch it.
I don't watch yours either. So
No.
no, I'm just kidding.
Like Four Christmases movie I've never seen.
Oh, wow.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
That's so good.
That's such a
but-
good movie.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Oh,
You get a version with your scenes just cut out,
Yeah.
like you asked.
That's what I need. I remember.
Why don't you? Why? Well, not once.
Gosh, because all I see is the mistakes. But I did see the trailer when it first came out. I took my kids were little, and we went to see another Christmas movie, and then I didn't know the trailer was going to show. And then the trailer came up, and the first thing that popped on the screen was my big old pie face. And my daughter looked at me and said, "She's dead. You need to lose some weight."
You're like, geez, daughter, you need to find an allowance because that's all dried up now. Tim McGraw and Standing Room Only. Where do you put that in the set list as soon as you go back and do a big
Gosh,
show?
I'm not sure where we're going to put it next. Probably in the middle somewhere. Yeah, make them wait a little bit.
What is your theory on set list? Like, do you start with something new because they're ready for anything, or do you go with the hit first?
I try to go with a banger first to set everybody off.
Yeah,
you know.
there's like I've seen you a few times, and it's like a big build-up. And then you go into, let me go to, and it's I don't know. What is it?
Well, the first one, over the last year, we've been doing How Bad Do You Want It?
That's not the one I remember.
Oh, it's Truck Yeah.
Truck
Truck
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dang, that was a build-up
That was
right there.
That's always one of my favorites to open with.
I felt like I needed to smoke a cigarette when you were done with that song. I don't even smoke. And I was like, dang, I just went through it right there.
But a set list is the hardest thing to put together. I mean, it's no easy task to sort of create a theme, not a theme, but sort of a roller coaster ride. You know, you got to bang a little bit, and then you got to cruise a little bit, then bang a little bit, then cruise.
That's why I had
a
to
little
smoke
bit.
a cigarette.
Yeah.
We banged first. Lunchbox, what is your crossword? So Lunchbox got in trouble on the show because he doesn't pay it. He doesn't know how to look. He's uncomfortable. So he doesn't look at artists while we're doing interviews. He doesn't know what to do with his hands. So he just does a crossword puzzle every single time. So now we've incorporated this. Would you like to ask?
Yeah, I'm not sure why you're here, but thanks for coming. And, I'm on 55 down, and it's a bit of land surrounded by sea, and it's a 4-letter word, and I can't figure it
Bit
out.
of
A
land.
bit, spit of land.
Spit?
A bit
No,
of land
S is not
surrounded
right.
No.
by sea. Okay, so it's not an island. That's too many.
Bit of land
4.
surrounded by
Any
4
other
let-
letters?
Could that be an
No.
aisle, like an I?
ISLE.
That it could be an aisle or K,
Isle? How do you spell
a
that?
key,
ISLE.
A
like
key?
CAY.
No.
4.
Oh,
4 letters. 4 letters. Isle.
Why are they always so hard? Can't you give us one like
ISLE.
animal that barks?
Isle. That's it. That's what an
Yeah.
isle is.
There we go.
Did they just shorten island? Like, what is that? Like, why don't they just call it an island?
Maybe because
Because
it's
it wouldn't be 4
smaller.
letters.
True.
That's a great call.
Well, hey, the next thing you get to do is look up aisle. Look
Well,
it
I know
up.
it. It's a bit of land surrounded
No,
by
I
sea.
mean,
Right.
but why?
Smaller,
Look
probably.
up why it's called that.
Fewer letters, smaller.
Thanks, Tim. Now
Surface.
you're
Yes.
good to go now.
All right.
That's a what kind of crossword puzzle are you doing? Over
USA Today.
Now he's mad though. They're wanting to charge him.
Yeah. They give me one free one, and then they want like money for the rest of them. I'm like, no, I've been doing these for free, and now you get me with one. Then the next day it's like, you want it, you got to pay for it.
That's kind of like a streaming service.
Yeah, bunch of jerks.
All right, here you go. Uncomfortable questions from listeners before we let Tim go here. These are questions listeners sent us. How much can Tim McGraw bench press?
Oh, I have no idea.
You don't bench press at all?
I do, but I don't know how much. I don't do a lot of heavyweight. I'll hurt myself.
What do you do though if you're like, what's a heavy lightweight that you do? A plate on each side, 135?
Yeah, 135 probably.
Yeah, pretty weak. All right, anyway, I'll probably do like 170 or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, I don't do that much.
Yeah.
What is good or what is considered high?
It's
for,
depending on how much you
like-
weigh.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
all relative, right?
yeah, I mean, I'd be scared to throw too much weight. I'm serious. I'd scared I'd tear something.
I have.
Have you?
Yeah, because I'm an idiot.
Well,
I try to bench 175. Yeah.
My elbow. I've had elbow surgeries and knee surgeries and broken
Do you,
feet.
When
and
winter comes, does it hurt? Everything on me hurts so bad in the
everything
winter.
hurts. Yeah, when a front's coming through. I mean, you can. That's when you can tell all those football injuries and all those basketball injuries and all those injuries start flying back at you when a front's coming through.
All these fingers I broke playing high school football, as soon it's front's not even here yet, and I'm predicting the weather. I'm like Ned Permian, Arkansas Channel 7 weather. It's like, okay, I can tell it's about to get cold. My fingers won't bend.
That's just the way you should just do the weather every time. Well, my fingers are hurting.
Don't even
so-
need a green screen
yeah,
for that.
yeah.
All right, question 2 of 5. What percentage does Tim McGraw tip at dinner?
Probably around 30.
Okay. Does Tim McGraw shave his chest?
Occasionally.
Has Tim McGraw ever signed a body part that a fan got tattooed?
Yes.
And then finally, did you sell an island?
Yes.
Nice. I want to sell an island.
An aisle.
Yeah.
Oh, an island.
An
Small,
aisle,
yeah. I just want to have an island so I can sell it. I'm not even to having one yet. But dang, do you still love the water? Is that still
I do. I haven't been in the water in a while, but I miss it. I miss being in the water and spearfishing. I mean, that was something with the Warm Boys. They would come down with me and we would spearfish 8 hours a day. I mean, it was my passion for a while. So I got to get back to it.
I was talking to the Warren Brothers. They were over at my house, and we were talking about the song that you, Urban, and Taylor did together, Highway Don't Care. And they had said that you really felt you could get Taylor. But so because of that, you waited like a year.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, great move because it worked out in the end. But so you had a feeling if you just waited, that would like you could get her on a.
Yeah. I mean, I just thought she was a perfect person for that song. And we had never done anything together. So it was just a matter of just finding the right timing for both of us to be able to do it.
Listen, he's got a new song out.
And for Keith too.
I mean,
Definitely wanted Keith on there.
Her first song was Tim McGraw.
Hey, but she don't know him crap.
I
You know what I
know.
mean?
Yeah.
Didn't get any residuals on that.
His new song is Standing Room Only. So you're going to enjoy this song for a while. We're going to watch it fly up the chart and be another monster hit, most likely. So, I mean, are we at a whole new season of McGraw music?
Yeah, I'm finishing up the album now. You know, all the final mixes and all
How many
the final
songs will you
touches.
cut fully, and then will you cut them down, or will you only cut the ones you're going to use?
I cut around 30 probably, and And I hate that. That's hard too, because I don't take anything in unless I like it. So to call them down to the ones that don't make the records, I always leave stuff on the floor that I love.
But what do you do with those songs that are fully finished that you don't use? Will you put them and then after you die, we release them and keep making Tupac money, or what?
Yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
my kids will be able to make some money off
Yeah,
of it.
that's what we're talking
if somebody
about.
else doesn't cut them first.
R.I.P. McGraw, the album, and then we put out all those songs. So you're going to be playing the Final Four Fan Fest in
Yes.
Houston with, speaking of Keith Urban, Little Big Town. So since Arkansas will be in the Final Four, I'll probably be there. Can I get free tickets?
Yeah, come on.
All right, cool.
We'll take care of you.
All right, TimMcGraw.com's got a bunch of festivals, upcoming shows, but mostly today it's about new music. Standing Room Only is the new song, and there he is, our friend and yours, Tim McGraw. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
It's about